Well, good morning and welcome back to Papa B's Old Time Repair and Restoration. Well, as you can see, I'm doing one of the least favorite things that I like to do. And I was hoping to have some DI content out for you this week, and this wheel is the front wheel off the DI. But to be honest, it's been one of those weeks. Things have just not worked out quite like I hoped it would. I had hoped to maybe show a brief clip of this, but I was intending on getting the brake shoes relined for the DI, and to be honest, I'm on my third order with McMaster-Carr trying to get the right rivets for the brake linings, and it makes me feel like that the 58 cents a piece that Deere wanted for those rivets has turned out to be pretty cheap. But anyway, they won't be here till Monday, so I've been spending my week trying to get these wheels cosmetically like I'd like to have them. So I've been doing that. Of course, it's been really hot, as you all know. And I've got a Ford in here, not sure what it is, 851, 861, I'm not sure, but it's LP. Having trouble getting it to light off, so we're still working on that. But I think I'll take you back over to the 430. And as you saw in the opening clip, we've got the sheet metal back on. And I think I'm going to cover one more little short segment on the 430 about the death wobble. And some things that I wasn't very clear on, or I don't know, maybe you guys still have some questions about it. So we'll jump over to the 430 and we'll talk about that a bit. We got the sheet metal back onto the 430, and there's one final thing that I did before putting this on that I wanted to show you, and some of you I'm sure are very familiar with this. The normal airlock fittings that come with this sheet metal are a quarter turn twist lock, and while the benefits of those are quick installation and just quarter turn, you're done, when they get some wear in them, they don't hold very well. And so there was an ad on the 2-cylinder forum the other day, and a guy was selling these screw-in airlock fittings. And what these are is you've got a captive nut instead of the twist keeper on the back side of the brackets, and they screw in. And the advantage with these is they have a nylon washer. If you've got a freshly painted tractor, you can turn these in, and that washer will make contact first, and then you can snug this up exactly where you want it, and it will not break the paint. Now, like I said, that's not really an issue with this tractor, but I had enough of the old original quarter turns that were bad that I went ahead and ordered those, and the installation was really simple. You just drill out the rivets that take care of the keepers, and if you drill the rivets out in the exact spot, there's nothing to keep you from going back original if you want to. So very satisfied with that. I did do a little bit of tweaking on the The sheet metal, as I think I mentioned in the 430 series, when I got this tractor, the hood was not on it, and I found it in the weeds, and that hood had been ran over several times, and it was kind of a mess. Still not perfect, but it's better than it was. But one thing that I would like to go ahead and talk about in order to wrap up this 430 power steering project is going back to the death wobble. And I don't think we ever found really a smoking gun as to what was causing the death wobble. Sure, we found lots of issues wrong, and there were some things that I knew that I wanted to do to this tractor aside from the death wobble, and that being the front axle support and tie rod ends and other things like that. But if you remember, we did find the main shaft was bad with the spline, so we took care of that. There was nothing wrong with the steering arm itself. We did have one inside tie rod end that was bent, but we replaced all those. We rebuilt the tie rod ends, done a lot of other things. Then when we moved up to the steering shaft, we did find some excessive play in the universal joint. We found a little bit of play in almost each one of the couplings in the steering shaft area. And I believe Brandon was the one that mentioned that the multiple couplings really made the steering shaft a lot more complicated. On a manual steering tractor, you have the universal joint and you have one coupling up here at the steering box. So you have one coupling, 2, 3 couplings on the power steering system, plus the universal joint. And they were all subject to have some slop in them. But with taking care of that, and everything else that we did, still really didn't come up with a definitive answer to the death wobble. Sure, everything that we did helped. It certainly didn't hurt anything. And I mentioned that I had set the toe in at 1/4 of an inch. But I got to thinking after that, I never did measure the toe in before. Is it possible that the toe in was a contributing factor? And I think yes, it could have been. But anyway, I'd like for y'all to, if you've got any comments about what you think was the contributing factor to the toe in, well, drop it in the comments. I think this is going to be the last video for sure on the 430 till we find something else to fix. But I will say that I have used it a couple of times. In fact, I pulled the old Ford tractor in with it just the other day, and very pleased with how it came out. So I guess that's a wrap from Papa B's Old Time Repair and Restoration. Just wanted to get some short content out to you to keep the algorithms happy on YouTube. So I really appreciate y'all watching and commenting, for following along with this 430 project as well as what's coming up on the DI. Hopefully next week we'll get the brake linings taken care of. We'll get one of the front wheels finished. I'll show you in more depth what we're doing over there. And it's about time to start fitting some sheet metal to the tractor. So we got lots of things coming up on that. I sure appreciate all of your comments, all of your subscriptions, and especially the likes to the videos. I hope they are informative to you. So with that, we're going to say, So long for now from Papa B's Old Time Repair and Restoration. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.